All right, my friends, welcome to episode 184 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. How has your week been? The week after Emerald City Comic Con.
I know. Well, we had GDC, which I didn't go to.
Right, but you had a colleague go to GDC.
A colleague was there doing follow-up meetings and some additional pitch meetings, and doing the business stuff, doing the whole put yourself out there, try to get money.
In general, how'd that go?
As well as we had hoped. There's a couple more people we're going to continue talking to now, which was the hope.
Yeah.
Have follow-ups, and out of that come out with a few more that are actually serious.
Right.
I won't talk about who they are.
Yeah, of course.
But we're pretty excited to keep talking to them and crossing fingers that one of them will pan out.
Well, I hope so too, because I'd love to play your game final release somewhere. I'm sure you would too.
You'd get to play in friends and family.
That sounds
beta.
Fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This episode we're talking about GDC, where his colleague is. We're going to talk about Google Stadia. We're going to talk about the Nindies Direct. We're going to talk about the state of play that Sony's got coming out, and then we have what we've been playing, which for me has been an eclectic group of co-op games, because I had a boys' night out last night, rented a place with my friend Brad and Ted, and we just stayed up and played video games all night, and I'm really, really tired right now.
Not used to that.
No.
Anymore, are you?
No. Once it hits 10:30, I'm ready to go to bed, and I stayed up till 1:30 last night. So, why don't we start with the big news from the week, which has faded a bit, but the Google Stadia announcement. Basically, Google's streaming game service. I think they said you need to have 25 megabits or megabytes down. Megabytes? Megabits.
Everything's yeah.
Okay.
Minimum 25, which I guess it should be 25 sustained.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Sure.
To get, what is that? Just 1080p?
Probably.
And then 30.
You could probably get more. Yeah, 1080p 30 for pretty consistent 1080p 30.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, yeah, it's their streaming service.
Right.
It's what they demo. Wasn't that AC Odyssey?
Yep. The last fall.
They were using that as kind of a test bed. I mean, it's that. The annoying thing about all of this, and because I'm like, sure, you can stream games. This isn't a new thing. There's been a number of services in the past decade that have been doing this, or attempting it. So Google brings more infrastructure, of course, but they didn't say anything about price.
Right.
Or really what's going to be there and how you're going to get it, really? Like, it was a lot of feature talk, and really, it to me, it came off as, look at, this is just the latest version of streaming. We're doing it ourselves, like talking about how it's all new, and I'm like, this is not new.
Who's been streaming games?
I mean, isn't Sony?
That's true.
Sony has their thing. There's OnLive was there before.
Right.
Microsoft do any of it? Yeah, they did some of it.
Really? What do they stream?
I thought they did.
They're getting into it. I don't know if they have yet.
They're getting into it.
But you're right. Sony PS Now has been streaming.
There's a guy that weirdly that I've commuted with. He worked at Microsoft. That was on a team where they were working on streaming Xbox games and Xbox One games.
Mm-hmm.
That pulling up a service like that, and that was years ago that they were even attempting it.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure costs were super high, as he was saying. It just wasn't really worthwhile.
Well, it makes sense.
But I mean, this isn't new.
No.
Things have been trying to do this for a while.
And it makes sense in terms of like other industries. Obviously, music went streaming, TV went streaming, movies have gone streaming. But those are things that don't require inputs from the user to ping back on a server. So
and so that's the thing that I mean, you're getting it down. Like, fine, you can get the video down at a good speed. It is what is the lag, honestly. Right. That's going to be absolutely killer for a lot of games, and that's going to be the killer thing for people's home connections. I'm sure like people in cities and that have great infrastructure and are close to the backbones, ping probably won't even be noticeable. Like sub 50 would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure if you have anything over 100, you're gonna start noticing a
Right.
little bit of lag, just a little bit. And you might compensate for it, but still, it's noticeable. And I don't know. That's always been the thing that kind of kills me. And they just don't tell me how much. What am I buying when I get this?
Well,
like, what do I do? Do I pay a subscription? Do I pay a licensing fee for the game?
And that's true, but GDC is for the developers, and I feel like that consumer-facing information they said would be out in the summer. So it seems like they do have that information. They're just holding it close to their chest for some dumb reason.
But that's what I want to know.
Yeah, me too. I mean, yeah.
I don't think sure GDC is for that, but that was the main question I heard coming out of this from even developers, because developers want to know.
Yeah.
As a developer, I want to know how much money I actually get paid for having my game on there.
Right.
Like, is it a subscription? So I just, like Spotify or anything else, do I just get paid for how much time someone puts into the game that I might make? And if that's the case, holy crap, does that change the way I design games for a service like that?
Oh yeah, you want to maximize time.
Yeah, you want to maximize time. The amount of time people would be putting into your games, because that's what you get paid for.
Yep.
And actually, this is a weird thing, because Apple just is announcing something soon about some type of game subscription.
Yeah, the streaming the subscription for premium apps or whatever, premium games.
Yeah, it's not streaming. It's
I misspoke.
Premium
it's not streaming.
apps.
Yeah. Which is it? Just premium game apps, or is it premium other things too?
I think it's premium game apps is what I've seen it at. But it is that you get paid for how much someone plays your game, which is gonna totally destroy the type of games you find on that market.
Right.
I'll be honest. Because you'll just want the games that allow for just incredibly quick, high replay value things. I think roguelikes will go through the roof.
That's totally true, because that's such replayability and just such an addicting loop.
Yep.
I just feel like whenever Sony announces PS5, if they don't just come out and say, here's how you play your games, and they just stick a disc in a disc drive, they're missing out on something.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a thing where I'm like, I could see... I mean, is it possible the next generation consoles just aren't going to have disc drives and it's all digital download? That could be. But I still think there's, based on like backlash coming out against Stadia and stuff, a large portion of the consumers aren't ready to just be like, well, what do you mean I don't own it? I want to own the thing, even if it's just a digital license for it. I kind of want it. Right.
Yeah, because Steam, you don't really own it, but it feels like you do.
Yeah, enough. That's the thing. I own it enough where I feel like it. If it's just I have a subscription and my subscription lapses, it goes away, like that can start feeling a little bit weird.
Oh, and game preservation, for example.
Yeah, game preservation goes. What game preservation?
Yeah, it's hard to preserve games that don't actually exist, really.
I mean, currently that's an issue going on with a lot of mobile stuff. And the free-to-play space on mobile and PC, because a lot of those have servers. If they die and their servers get shut down, there's no way to play that game. Even
with mobile, where your OS updates and it's like it's no longer playable on this OS, like it's totally gone, as opposed to the computer, where I feel like backwards compatibility goes back pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, you can get stuff on the computer running pretty well.
Yeah, but yeah, it's absolutely true.
It makes me sad. I mean, I've had that. The Unpleasant Horse game that I made.
Oh yeah.
Long ago.
Yep.
It doesn't run anymore on any OS platform. It's not available anymore.
My wife loves that game.
It's so cool. I love it. And I'm like, crap. There is absolutely no way for me to play this game at all anymore. I probably have a PC build of it somewhere because I made one. But
man, I loved playing that game. Shit.
But it's gone. Like, it's completely gone. It was never updated for 64-bit exclusive iOS stuff, and just went away.
There it is. Yep, Unpleasant needs to be updated. Developer of the app needs to update it to work with iOS 11.
And it's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, my wife does not update her iPhone, so she is below iOS 11. So I'm sure she can still play it.
That's good. I appreciate that.
I was getting tons of problems with my iOS update. Like they changed like the podcast app and a bunch of different shit. And I was like, this sucks. I wish I wouldn't have updated. So she was like, I'm not going to then. So she never did. Man, Unpleasant Horse was fun though.
Yeah.
Or Unpleasant Pony.
That was Unpleasant Horse.
Okay, I got it right. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I mean, that brings up like preservation's nearly impossible. If things start going to just streaming all the time, no one actually having no consumer or final player having actual like data on a disk somewhere.
Right.
Goes away. This would get rid of all trading. No more trading. No more letting people borrow your games.
Right.
Bye.
No more used disk market.
Yeah, I've used games, whatever, but I do like the benefit of being able, like, Emerald City Comic Con. Hey, look, I have an extra Guilty Gear Xrd.
Yeah,
Here,
I appreciated
have it.
that. Yeah, that goes away.
I don't need it. Here, take it.
Right.
There's none of that ever happens anymore. So, yeah, the announcement to me was like, yay. I'm sure this will happen at some point. I hope it doesn't happen now.
Yeah, I feel like this is a thing that's like, I don't know, 10 years away, just because of infrastructure alone, but also in terms of gamer attitudes and like what we want right now. Like, we don't really want
probably
this.
less than 10. I was going to say 5.
Really?
Because
5? You think the infrastructure?
Things change, so not infrastructure. Gamer attitude.
Oh yeah, no, I can see that changing. But,
I can gamer attitude in like 5 years. We'll be like, yep,
yeah,
this is what it is.
no, I can see that too.
Infrastructure or not,
Yeah,
it's coming.
that's we don't do infrastructure in this country really right now. So
No, not really, and especially not internet infrastructure.
right.
Um,
I mean, it's
so,
great for
yeah.
us that are in hubs, but people in the middle, even in like the middle of the state that I live in,
yeah,
it's not as great for them as it is for me. So I don't
it's
know.
not amazing for me.
Right,
but I
that's
have
true. Yeah.
decent, but
Yeah.
I don't.
But
I don't
you couldn't
have
use
the,
Stadia.
like, huh?
You couldn't use Stadia, right?
I could use Stadia.
Oh, okay.
My speed's good enough for
Okay. Yeah, I could too. But the
again, but I don't know what my latency would be like.
yeah. Well, and also data caps. People have data caps. Like, what is it, like 16 gigs an hour or something like that? Like, it's just.
I don't know what mine is. I have to check Comcast again. What they do have a thing that shows me like they do have a behind the scenes data cap. I haven't crossed it yet. I've come close a few months.
I feel like the amount of games I download and just I
yeah.
must have gotten close, but I've never ever heard anything about it. So.
I think mine's like it's over a terabyte.
Yeah, I don't think I crossed that threshold.
No, it's rare. But I mean, I do stream a lot of video.
Yeah, that's true.
All
We
my
do.
family, everyone in the house, and plus games.
Yep.
It adds up. Like,
Yeah.
there's definitely times when I'm getting close.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, I'm not.
It's just
Nothing that Google showed made me like, oh man, I really want this.
no, nothing really excited me about it because I don't need to stream games. I have all the consoles that I want. I have a PC. Like, that's how I play. I don't need to play in that other way. And maybe there's something about it I don't understand, and when I actually get my hands on it, maybe. But I just no. I mean, no.
Yeah.
I guess the idea of like being able to stream in a browser tab at my job in a down moment, but I don't have down moments at work, so I don't know if that's really a thing either.
Yeah.
Was there anything else news out of GDC that stood out besides Stadia?
That was the only one that's like straight out of GDC.
Mm-hmm.
No, I watched a few things on engine stuff, Unity and Unreal, but nothing like really stood out there that's, I would say, worth mentioning here.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing some crazy tech in a few years. That's basically what it comes to.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Before GDC, or maybe it was Tuesday, I think, the Nindies Direct hit.
Yes.
And they started with Cuphead coming to Switch.
Yep.
Nintendo thanking Microsoft for helping out, and we're going to get Cuphead next month, which is great. It's such a great game to come to Switch, but man, that's weird. Like a Microsoft exclusive, that's just, the reins are loosening up, I think.
They are across the street from each other.
Yeah, but that still doesn't mean that they want to like cede money to each other.
I know.
But I don't know what Microsoft is getting out of it other than selling more software, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. And software is where they make the most money.
Oh yeah, well then there's no reason not to then.
They make far more money on software than they do the actual hardware. So at this point, I really just think, based on Microsoft's overall strategy, they're just trying to sell more games.
Yeah. Well,
however they can sell games, they're going to do it because that's where the actual money for the games business is.
So what does that do to Xbox fans who are like, I don't know if they're getting anything out of this deal? Like, does that piss you off? I know you're not, but as an Xbox fan, does that make them mad? Like, we're losing our exclusive. Why do I even own a box with Xbox?
Why do you even own a box? That is a question.
Yeah. What reason is there to own an Xbox? I know. I mean, I own one, but what reason is there for me to own that box, you know?
I don't own one. There was never a reason for me to own it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's Halo. There's all this other stuff, but Halo's coming to PC now.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, I
Because
played
they wanna
Gears
sell
of War
games,
4
like-
with my brother. That's why I have my Xbox,
Yeah.
I guess.
There's a few exclusives, but not a ton.
Right.
And most indies and third party are going to come to all systems. And then even the exclusive indies, a lot of them aren't exclusive for life. They are exclusive for like a year.
Right. Well, Moon Studio, when they did Ori, there's rumors that Ori's coming to Switch, and Ori is not even a second-party studio. They're independent, but they just have exclusivity deals with Microsoft.
Did Ori only come to Xbox?
No, it's on Steam, and
So there you go.
yeah.
If it's an indie that would only be on a single platform and not PC, probably no chance you'll see it come anywhere else.
Right.
But most of the deals most deals are structured on you're exclusive to our console and you can do PC, and you're exclusive to our console for some time.
Yeah.
Not for life. Because a lot of developers wouldn't give up the for life thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. You know, it's money on the table for them.
Yeah.
And Switch is, I mean, it's going to sell gangbusters on Switch. People are going to double
Oh,
dip,
yeah.
and people who've never played it are going to buy it. It's kind of
Yep.
the best of both worlds with people releasing things on Switch that they've already released elsewhere, because it offers that thing that nothing else does, which is on the go.
Yep.
God, I feel like, though, the frustration from playing Cuphead, like, don't play in handheld because you'll probably throw the fucking Switch.
Yeah, you're going to throw the Switch, you're going to break it, you're going to rip the Joy-Cons off. I know. There's going to be some ruined Switches over that game.
Yeah. Is that a game you're going to pick? I don't know if that's
Nope.
a game for you, actually.
Nope. Not at
yeah,
all.
Never mind. I halfway through that question, I was like, no, I know the answer to this.
No. There's been a lot this week I've been watching because Sekiro came out.
Oh, yeah.
Sekiro. And I was like, I'm not going to play it. We'll watch some streams of it. And it looks incredible. And I'm like, I'd love to play this game. But then I'm like, it would probably take me about 6 months to really get good at this game.
Yep.
Like, pretty dedicated play for 6 months. And the opportunity cost of me focusing on a single game for 6 months to get good, just is too high for me.
Yeah, me too.
I do not have the patience for that.
Yep. I don't have the time for that, to get good at that. Shout out to our friend Travis, who is playing it. I've been texting with him a lot about it in the lead up to it, because he's a Souls guy. Like, those are probably his favorite games, and he just has wrung the shit out of all those Souls games. And he started playing. I was like, I heard it's fucking difficult. He's like, no, it's pretty good. And he told me a couple reasons why, it's not too hard. And then a fucking day later, he texted me. He's like, I retract everything I said. It is fucking super difficult once you get past the first few hours. And just talking about the way that it's different in terms of, like, Soulsborne games, basically, like, part of the whole battle mechanic is, like, dodging and coming back in and getting a hit and dodging back out. And this one, you have to, like, be in their face to parry. You have to parry to knock their guard
poise.
down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't. You have to be in their face.
It's very much about, as far as I'm watching streams, parrying, getting in, parry, get some attacks in, jump out quickly, jump back in.
Yep.
Like, it's fast whenever it's weird. It actually matches the, like, samurai duel thing of size up your target, flurry of blows, back out, size up again, flurry of blows. Like, the pace is insane. As someone on my Twitter feed said, so Bloodborne is Dark Souls but fast. Sekiro is Bloodborne but Bushido Blade.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, Bushido Blade. That's what made me watching. I'm just like, this is a Bushido Blade. Like, it's deadly and insane and so cool to watch. And I just know I'll never be good at it.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad, but it's true.
That's how I feel about the Souls games, where I feel like there's, like, depth there that would be really fun, but I just don't have the time to get good at that.
Yeah, I mean, I
and
guess
the patience, maybe.
It's the patience, and it's wanting to focus on that game for a long time.
Right.
Because I have friends that play, coworkers that, like, they've platinumed every Souls game and Bloodborne.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
And they basically only play those games. They've only played those games almost exclusively for the past 2 to 3 years. Like, that's just the games they play. It
becomes a lifestyle. right?
Yes.
Like you get addicted to that loop, and I feel like for me, like I play games to relax, man. After like a long day or whatever, for like half an hour. So even if I wanted to play those games, half an hour a night's not going to cut it, and also it's not relaxing.
No, not at all.
Like AC Odyssey is relaxing. It's fun
Yes.
and just like it's a power fantasy, and that's great.
Yeah.
Diablo, same thing. So back to the Nindies Direct, we got basically led with Cuphead, and there's a bunch of stuff in the middle maybe we can talk about, but the ending was fucking
that ending.
nuts. So basically it's Brace Yourself Games. It starts off with like Crypt of the Necrodancer. Looks like it's like a sequel to it, and then all of a sudden you hear the like Zelda music, and you're like, what the fuck? Then you see Zelda and Link as characters, and then it ends up being Cadence of Hyrule, which is basically Crypt of the Necrodancer, but with
Zelda.
Like they gave the Zelda license to a fucking indie and said, go for it. Like that's crazy.
It is insane. It is completely off the wall crazy. I would not expect that. And yeah, I just rewatched the trailer before we talked, and I am super hyped for that game.
Yeah, I've got it on right now. And as I was going, I was just like, the sprite work is different. Oh, they're kind of maybe doing like a, going to the 16-bit after they did the 8-bit or whatever. And then I was like, wait, that looks like Zelda trees. What's happening here?
Oh yeah.
And then the castle looks like Zelda, and then all of a sudden you see
the music kind of starts changing.
Yeah, you hear the music
bit.
Exactly. And you get the silhouettes of Zelda and Link, and then all of a sudden you're like off to the races. Like what the? I thought it was just like a cameo of those two characters in like a DLC pack, but no, it's a fucking full game with rupees and fucking Link and Zelda. Like it's a fucking Zelda game. We're getting 2 Zelda games this year. I guess I shouldn't say it's a Zelda game in terms of like dungeons or whatever, but which I assume they're not going to have. But
they might. I don't know.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast and someone was saying they absolutely missed the boat. They should have called it Tempo of Time. I was like,
oh man,
God, that's a great name.
It is.
But Cadence is the character's name, and I think pretty sure it's the character's name in Necrodancer. So
yeah,
it kind of makes sense. Is this a game that you're gonna buy?
Yep, day one.
Nice.
We'll own.
Yeah,
we'll play.
Fucking great. Oh my God.
I mean, I don't have a ton of experience with Necrodancer, but
I have a little bit, and I guess I'll say this now. It's my backlog game for this this podcast. I only played about half an hour, and boy, I could not get the rhythm down. Like I couldn't quite get the hook, like how it's supposed to go. Like playing with the beat and whatever else. It took me a while to figure out what it was, and by the end of the 30 minutes, I was like, oh, now I get it. So I think now that I understand it, going back and starting over, I think I would appreciate it. But man, what a clever design! It's like fucking dungeon crawling,
to the beat.
To the beat. You played it on a fucking dance pad, right?
Yep, DDR at PAX one year.
That's crazy.
It was freaking awesome. And
yeah,
I don't know all the system. I think you can. I mean, they had it hooked up there, but I'm sure you could find a way to hook up a DDR pad to a PC and play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it's just move and attack on the beat, do damage, do better damage, and if you can get into the rhythm of it. You just zone to the whole thing. It just gets crazy good. I'm just zoning out. You're just like, yep, I'm in the song. I'm just doing my thing. It's great.
That's like Beat Saber or Tetris Effect.
Yeah.
You just get into the zone and you're like not even there. It's a really transcendent experience. I'm looking forward to trying that. But yeah, no, this game is a no-brainer.
What'd you play it on?
PS4.
Okay.
Which is part of the problem. I think I should play it on Vita instead because the the pixel art of the original Necrodancer would look good on a small screen.
Yeah.
On a big screen, it just looks too blown up.
And it's not out for the Switch, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, but it's been on sale forever on PS4 for like $3. That's when I picked it up. So paying $20 on Switch is a little hard when it's on so cheap on the other systems.
That's true.
But Cadence of Hyrule with the Link and Zelda kind of tax basically is gonna be well worth it. Any other games from the Nindy showcase that stood out to you besides those two?
I was really happy to see Overland coming there. I've been watching that game for, honestly, it feels like years at this point.
I don't know anything about this game. What is this?
It's kind of like a tactical roguelike traveling the country in post-apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you start on the East Coast and you're trying to get to the West Coast. You have a dog companion, and you have to scavenge for food and stuff, and, well, you're fighting, like, alien bugs and things. It has a very low poly art style, and I know, do you ever hear of Cannibalt?
No.
It was an iOS game. Was like a infinite one of the first infinite runners, which is a genre where you're running left to right, and all you're doing is tapping the screen to jump or duck under things.
Mm-hmm. That's like Runner. Okay.
Yeah. Cannonball was was one of the first ones.
I'm watching this video right now. Oh, I see. It's low poly. This headline says XCOM meets Oregon Trail.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's a good way to talk about it. And it's been in they put it up on a place called Itch.
Yep.
And they did it as an early access, early beta through there years ago.
Oh, wow.
And they've just been working on it over the time. They were like, hey, if you get it now, it's going to be super early. We're just testing a lot of stuff. And to see it coming to Switch makes me really excited, because it's a game that I'd want to play on Switch.
Right.
There was a lot of just interesting stuff that came out of that whole thing. Nuclear Throne.
Yeah.
That's right. Vlambeer, give me all the screen shake. So much screen shake.
And you're talking about screen shake in terms of as you're playing, it shakes
as
when
you're
something
playing.
happens.
Yeah. Vlambeer does screen shake really well. It's like when crits happen, big things happen, and your camera shakes a little bit. We did it a bunch of PodCap too. It's just it's a great way to make someone feel like something really big happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of devs don't do enough of it. Vlambeer, they use it. They use it a lot, and it's great.
I heard good things about Blaster Master Zero, which came out it dropped the day of the indie, or the Nindies Direct, basically. Which, Blaster Master 1 or whatever, or 0 came out as a remake of Blaster Master, I guess. And it was, faithful to the original, but I heard really good things about this one. They basically kind of iterated on the formula. For a $10 little platformer on the Switch, people were really pretty excited about that. I don't know if it's one I'll pick up, but hearing some good things about it.
I think, there is a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And their NeoCab looks like I don't think it's I must play this, but it's a cool concept that I kind of just want to try out.
Narrative-driven survival game.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds bad to me.
It honestly, and what it looks like, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like a visual novel.
Yep.
Where you're driving people around, but you have an end goal that you're trying to get to. Rad looked really rad.
That's the one from Double Fine.
Double Fine.
Yeah.
The action RPG-ish thing.
Right.
Mutation stuff.
Isometric view or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It looked really good. Double Fine, published by Bandai Namco. I'm pulling the trailer up right now.
Yep.
Started with a lot of concept art, but then it got to
the game.
There we go. Yeah.
Has an 80s aesthetic going on to it. Blaster Master Zero. Cadence of Hyrule. Yeah, that's really about.
It's just a lot of stuff, a lot of quality indies coming, and then just they're building hype for indie games. I don't know. It's usually Nintendo Directs are super exciting, but it's usually only the big Nintendo Directs. But actually, I was pretty excited for the indie Direct to see what they were going to have.
Yeah, the thing here
didn't disappoint.
A ton of cool games.
Yeah.
A ton of stuff that's not Nintendo coming to the Switch
as
a platform.
Well,
and the thing is, it doesn't matter that it's exclusive or not. The great thing about the Switch is I want it there because it's portable.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll buy. I've already bought Cuphead on PC, but I'll buy it again on Switch eventually. But what a great bookend to the Direct to start with Cuphead and with Cadence of Hyrule. The games in between were great, but they could have not been there, and it would have still been a great Direct.
Yeah.
So that's good news. Nintendo's got some good stuff going on, and people are just clamoring to get on the fucking platform. So, speaking of Nintendo Directs, next week, actually tomorrow or today when you're listening to the podcast, at 2 p.m. Pacific, I think, Sony's got its State of Play announcement video, which is basically their attempt at Nintendo Directs, it looks like, but they're going to announce new game trailers, new game announcements for PS4 and PSVR. Sounds like a Nintendo Direct, but for PS4.
Sure. It's all the stuff that we talked about. It's the stuff that they have left to do, which is Days Gone is coming out, so I'd expect to see a little bit from it.
Right.
Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding. Those are all their big games that they have that don't have a lot of info on them. So some of those might be shown. Maybe there'll be a new Death Stranding trailer to confuse everyone even more.
Oh boy. I still haven't watched a single one of those.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're what they're really going to show. I mean,
I think Concrete Genie's going to be there because they haven't really talked much about that.
Yeah.
I think they announced that about the last PAX basically. I don't know. PSVR titles probably. I don't know if there's anything that they could announce that would be exciting other than a Last of Us 2 release date.
Yeah. And I mean, they aren't going to E3, but they were doing stuff around E3, right?
They came out and said that they were not.
Like nothing at all?
Right. They said we're not going to E3 and we're doing nothing around E3, which makes me think they're doing these kind of things.
So they'll do this now, end of March.
And they said they're going to have more throughout the rest of the year.
April, skip April, May. I could see them doing one in May.
Yeah, right.
And then skipping June, July, like do one middle August, of the summer. Yeah, end of July, August, middle of the summer.
Well, then, following up on Sony's State of Play on Monday, Tuesday, there's going to be an Xbox Games Pass Indies showcase, basically. Okay. So Xbox is going to be doing its own Indies showcase on Tuesday. So there's just 3 basically direct style presentations in a row, and 2 of them totally on Indies.
Yeah, let's we'll have to compare how well these other companies do to how well Nintendo pulls off their directs. Because I feel like Nintendo has it down to a pretty good science on doing the directs.
Yep. I could see Sony doing well, but the inside Xbox has not really lit the world on fire. And if they're going to continue in that strain for this Indies Direct. God damn it, not Direct.
No.
Fuck. The indie game showcase on Tuesday. I just hope it's just game, talk to the developer for a minute, and just keep going. We'll see. I don't know what indies are excited to get on Xbox right now, when the Switch is the hot place to be.
Yeah, I'm sure they have some stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We're gonna have more to talk about next week. Clearly.
Yes, absolutely.
All the companies are like, oh shit, we got to start talking about things again. It does feel that way. It feels like it was dead for a little bit, and now they're all like, okay, time to go.
Yep, here are the announcements. Gives us something to talk about, because I feel like there were a couple of weeks where we're like, what the fuck are we talking about this week? Yeah, but now it's hot and heavy, and we're gonna. I cannot believe.
To the races.
3 months till E3, man. Like we were just at E3.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I know.
I still get emails. They're like, hey, you coming to E3 again this year? Like from E3 itself.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think so.
Right.
Could, maybe.
Well, these follow-up meetings you're having are still like from them that time, right? Like kind of
some of them,
pushed forward.
We had a few then, but we definitely had more later.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that there's more follow-up meetings even at E3. But hopefully by E3 we're getting close to signing. Fully on signing, like we're in contract negotiation.
Right.
That would be the ideal.
Definitely wish you guys luck.
Oh, please. Cross my fingers. It would be so cool. I don't want to go back to a real job.
Yeah, no.
This is a real job, but
it is.
I like working in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, that's the only other announcement from the whole thing, and the only reason I kind of am amused by it is the Vampires Bloodlines 2.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So that was just random. Paradox is doing it, but the company, which is cool that they're even. I'm like, holy shit, there's going to be a Bloodlines 2. That's insane to think about. But the company working on it is in Seattle.
Yep.
In West Seattle. I know exactly the building that they're in. Like I had to click. I was like, why do I know Hardsuit? And I clicked on. I'm like, oh, it's these guys. Oh, they're in this building right off the road out of West Seattle. Crazy. I guess I'll go knock on their door if I need to find a job.
Yeah, hey guys, you need some help? I know this game. I love it.
Yeah, I know this game. Love it. I know Unreal. It is using Unreal 4. So, hi. Need any help? This commute's really easy for me. I'm okay with that. I want an easy commute if I'm doing this.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Keep us posted on that as well.
Yeah, I will. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
kind of a crazy week.
Yeah, GDC. All this crazy stuff this week. Why don't we jump into what we've been playing if there is no more news? I don't think there really is anything else to talk about. So how about you tell us what you've been playing?
I've really only played one thing this week. I think so. And I kind of don't know if I consider it a backlog game or not. It's been sitting in my Humble for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I just finally was like, oh, I should redeem that on Steam. was Civ 6.
Oh shit!
I was like, oh yeah, I should play that.
What did you think?
I'm still playing it, and I really want to continue playing it. It's like every Civ game. You feel like you don't have any control whatsoever. There's so many things going on to track and manage. I've basically this week started and restarted probably 7 or 8 games, just because I'll play for like an hour and be like, no, this isn't working right. I don't know. Quit, restart, because I've learned something new.
Yeah.
But this current game I have going is I've had going for probably like 3 hours into it, and it's moving along well. Using France, going for a cultural victory.
What's cultural victory?
And this one, it's getting a lot of tourists. Like, basically, you have a bunch of wonders built. You have a bunch of just things drawing population to your empire.
That's kind of a cool parameter for a victory.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff. So I've just been like hunting wonders. I created a religion just to fight other people from trying to spread religions into my empire. I don't know. It's a bizarre game.
Can you have atheists in that game? Like your religion is atheism?
You could just straight up. Actually, I mean, you could. Religion is a really weird word that they use for it. Because you could just say, because you can do custom names. Like they have a few that are the standard worldwide religions, but then they have like a bunch of icons that you're just like, I'm going to choose this. I'm going to call it whatever I want to call it. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It just gives you different bonuses. So, you could be a nation without a religion. That's possible too. You don't have to found a religion.
Right.
But if you don't found something, you allow outside empires to spread their religion into your area. I don't know. There's that. There's, of course, always domination. Domination victories just destroy everybody. There's science victories. Cultural. I believe there's another one as well now. I don't know. The game is just immense and insane. I don't know if it's necessarily better than Civ 5, but I had to give it a shot and just see what it's like. It just felt like something a little bit slower paced, more strategic. It definitely gets that one more turn filling at times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I like this, I want to pick up the expansions that are out for it, especially the latest one that came out, because it adds climate change to it.
Oh, shit.
So you're managing, like, the map will change because ocean levels will rise.
That's crazy.
And CO2 generation is a thing that warms the atmosphere, and the whole thing. Like, it's all in there. So I wonder how that played with anybody that plays Civ games that is a climate change denier.
Right. Like, this is fantasy. This isn't real.
I just don't buy that completely. Like, what happens when CO2 goes into the atmosphere and increases? Well, it makes things hotter. That's proven in historical fact. We can, minus if man-made is doing it or not. We can just actually say, more CO2 in the atmosphere, higher temperatures.
Right.
That happens.
Well, and you look at the charts, it's just higher and higher every single year. So
yeah, but
that's also
historically,
a fact.
You're like, the Earth goes through global warming. Cool. I'm like, sure. When it's warmer, there's more CO2, even in prehistoric pastimes. Like, that's how it works. So now you hit here. What's going into the atmosphere? CO2. Lots of it. It's going up. We're getting warm. God, it's not hard to follow here. Like, come on.
You kind of have to work hard to deny.
Kind of. It's like you have to work hard to deny the Earth is round.
Oh, I can't believe there are still flat earthers. It blows my mind.
I'm like, part of me believes it's just trolling to a point, at some point, but I'm sure there are people that truly believe it. And,
yeah, there are.
And I'm sure there are other people that are just like, this is funny. I'm just going to piss people off by saying I believe it.
Right.
Because it is super absurd. But I don't know how I got there. But yeah, so
that was a tangent of a tangent.
All about it. Civ 6 expansion, all about that. So.
Well, that proves the model of Humble, right? Where you put stuff in there for cheap to sell your expansion back, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll get it, but it's definitely now on my list of like, oh, that'd be a cool thing to have in this game.
Yeah.
especially with the map change and showing the impacts and how like the map will change and coastal cities might flood and you'll have to reevaluate how your empire is going to build. And I'm sure there's technologies to hopefully not destroy the world at that point. Right. So yeah, I recommend it. It's a fun Civ game. Like I said, I don't think it's necessarily better than Civ 5. Civ 5 is still like the high point of that series to me.
Right.
But it's a good version of Civ, but not the best, I think. So that's where I'm at with that.
But apparently it wasn't bad enough for you to say, I'll just play Civ 5 instead. Like there was stuff
there's
that
part of me
there.
that says, I'm like, I could play Civ 5. But I haven't, because I'm like, I have this installed. Like, I'll just play this. It's not. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, this isn't worth it. I should just play Civ 5. It means like this is good enough. But so yeah, I think that's Have I played anything else? Some more Rabbids, a little bit.
Oh yeah,
just kind of finishing a mission that I was at when we're at Emerald City. The game's great.
Yeah.
Recommending it to everybody who hasn't played. I'm like, just play this game. It's really good. Ignore the Rabbids. Stop caring that you're saying you don't like Rabbids. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is Mario XCOM. It's really good. So
it's just so brilliant. I hope this year they are announcing a sequel or even with a different IP or something. Yeah. Like just so well done. Amazing. Looks like a Nintendo game. Like the care they put with the IP or attended to the IP is just amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
So for me, backlog game, of course, was Crypt of the Necrodancer. Great music. The pixel art is a little ugly when it's blown up, unfortunately. And when you're staring at the pixel art, the whole game is kind of really intently focused on it. It does matter a little bit. I wish I could shrink it a bit because it would look, I think, more beautiful. Shrunken. And it just took me a while to get into the rhythm of the game, like literally get into the rhythm. But it gave me a good window into what Cadence of Hyrule will be like, and it will be on the small screen. It's going to have Zelda music. Like, it's going to be fucking awesome. And to play as Zelda would be great too. So played a little bit of that. Finally loaded up the Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC, the Legacy, the Hidden Blade. I thought I had been downloading it in all these updates that have been happening, but no, you have to actually go into the store and download each individual episode. So the night that I thought I was going to play it, I wasn't going to play it because I had to download it, which is when I played Necrodancer instead, which is fine. So the next night I started it, and it just jumps right in with the story. You're basically, there's this town that's getting attacked, like it's on fire, up in Macedonia, and you're trying to figure out who's attacking it. There's the Persians that show up, and then they die too, and ends up being this assassin who's assassinating everyone, and you kind of fight with him and then get to know him, and he's basically the first assassin. I guess if the cultists were the beginning of the Templars, is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then this is the beginning of the assassins, this guy with his hidden blade. And just the banter between all of them, like the writing's, I think it's really good. And it just launched right in and just grabbed me, and I played for like an hour and a half, and I think it's only like 3 or 4 hours. So there's a lot to do, and they make the quests different markers on the map, so you know which ones are like the legacy quests.
Okay.
So happy to be back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then last night, basically a friend I have here, Ted, doesn't get away that much, lots of work, and then obviously raising 2 kids. So I was like, why don't we go rent a place and bring some consoles and some TVs and just play video games? And we invited Brad as well, and just all 3 of us played games. He played a little bit of Red Dead. We really tried to focus on a lot of co-op games, and man, just trolling through the PS4 library trying to find games where 3 people can play at once. It's actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
Not a ton of couch co-op games versus when we plugged in the Switch, it was like literally every game. Not literally, figuratively, every game was like a co-op game. We played Smash, we played Kart, we played Super Mario Party, which was actually a ton of fun. I bought that in October. I thought I'd play with my wife, and she played one game with me and was like, I don't like this. So I never played it again. I spent $60 on this game I never played. But I'm glad I had it because last night was just so much fun. It was just a blast. Just like when we were playing Party when it was on the N64. Same feeling. It was super good. So I played that. We played Trials, like Trials Fusion from 2014, which was hilarious. Just the physics of the the bike, and we were all playing co-op together on the same track at the same time, and just like wiping out, and just it was so much fun. Played a little bit of Alienation, which is from Housemarque, I think.
Yeah.
Not top down, isometric kind of twin stick shooter where you're different kinds of soldiers basically attacking aliens. And that was fucking hard. It was like a mission to kill 7 nests or something, and it took us fucking 50 minutes, Brad and I. And then we introduced Ted to Overcooked.
Oh no.
Ted fucking hated it. He was just like spinning around in the middle in circles trying to figure out what to do. We're trying to tell him what to do, where to go, and it was just like throwing him into the deep end, and he was just like, what the fuck? But it was hilarious because how fucked we were. And then he, for some reason, didn't get in on the next game. We played like 4 or 5 levels, and then for some reason his controller disconnected. I don't know what happened. So it was just Brad and I together, like, just killed it. So it was easier to communicate with 2 people than 3, but it was just the madness and the hijinks that ensue from it was great. So just a ton of couch co-op games last night, and the Nintendo really shines when you got, that many people sitting around playing a game. Like it has tons of couch co-op games, so it's really great. So that was my games week this week.
That sounds fun though.
Oh god, it was great. I hope we're going to do it again, probably end of summer sometime, because we all enjoyed it quite a bit. Even though I stayed up so late, later than I normally would. Last thing I guess I should mention is we played I forget what it's called, Planet of the Apes. It was some sort of interactive movie that came out last year.
What?
It's called Planet of the Apes something. Last Frontier, I think.
Okay.
And it's basically a CG movie, like just full-on CG movie. But at certain inflection points, you are deciding what the answer is. Like, do you give someone food or you withhold food? Do you blame this person for it or that person for something? And we played about 10 minutes, and we were just like, this is so boring. Like, the story doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not really well written. The choices seem not to matter. I don't know who these people are. Like, there was just no really good onboarding to get us interested in the story, and I just closed it and deleted it off the hard drive because it was very bad. We were all just like, this is not good.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I guess you guys should have. What's the other one that was really big? Netflix had it.
Black
Bandersnatch.
Mirror. Oh, Bandersnatch.
Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, which I still haven't done, but I've heard
yeah.
pretty good things about it overall. Like that, it really feels much more like the choose your own adventure, filling in like relatively decent story. Like,
yeah, I should watch that with my wife. I think that would. I've heard good things about it. The one I'm playing, I heard terrible things about, and they were all right. So I think I got it for like $3. I wanted to, because my in-laws like Planet of the Apes, so I thought it'd be good to play with them. But nope, it's not.
No.
No
one will ever know about this one.
Yeah, no, gone. Yeah. So, and The Messenger. I also played. God, I played a lot this week. Finally, this boss that I was just beating my head against like halfway through the game. I probably died to this boss like 50 times, and I was just like, it was just a crazy difficulty spec. I think I mentioned last week where they have this like jump mechanic where if you hit something in midair, then you can jump again. But the game didn't really force me to use it, so I didn't really use it. But to beat this boss, you really have to be good at it. So I wasn't good at it. So it took me forever. And Brad's beat the game, so I asked him last night, I'm like, so what's your fucking advice for this boss? He's like, it's just memorize patterns. Like, there's no trick other than just like see what his pattern is and avoid him. Like, well, that's basic, video games 101, but let me go back into that boss fight with that mentality. Just like follow the pattern and just don't get too greedy. Just be patient and follow the pattern. Beat him first try.
Okay.
First fucking try. It's like, all right. But so far that game, it's just all over the place. Like it feels fun, but it's like super easy and then super difficult. Super easy and then super difficult. And it gives you a little bit of whiplash.
Yeah.
And the writing, I think a lot of people really like the writing because it breaks the fourth wall and they think it's funny, but I think it's annoying.
Yeah.
I get
that stuff that's hard to do.
Yeah. I get that it's a video game. Great. It's just not funny anymore. Like the same joke 100 times. So anyway, that's all the games I've been playing this week.
I guess I did one other thing. I did my second D&D game with my son today.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
Went really well. We went into the who was it? I used it went to a tomb, basically. Had him go into a tomb, exploring the townsfolk. The caretaker of the cemetery and graveyard was like, there's been weird noises coming from here, and the doors came out and they were broken off this morning, and heard you guys helped with this other thing in town, so I was just really hoping that someone would go look and make sure it's okay. And of course, it wasn't completely okay. There was ghouls,
right.
and ghouls and things and stuff, but it was a more traditional D&D experience of a couple fighting encounters, and then a trap, and then a riddle as well, like a small riddle. And weirdly, my son avoided all the things that would have caused even more zombies to spawn at the end. So that was good. It basically had a sword, a magical sword at the end of the thing, and it's in a secret room to this order of knights. And to get into the secret room, he first had to swear the oath that had been written somewhere at the beginning of the tomb. The riddle was to say the oath, basically, in front of a statue that opened this to the secret room. And in that secret room, there's a sarcophagi with this sword at the end on a pedestal. That if you, how did I had it all set up. It's like if you hadn't properly said the oath and took the sword, the zombies would spawn. If you messed with any of the sarcophagi, zombies would spawn. If anyone who didn't say the oath picked up the sword, zombies would spawn. None of that happened. He said the oath, and he was the one who picked up the sword, and was like, "Don't." And he was like, "Don't touch any of the things.
Nice.
This is a sacred place. We should leave."
Wow.
I was like, "Okay, you did it."
I having played a ton of Diablo, I would have kicked open every single sarcophagus.
They're there to be tempting.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a really good encounter that you built up.
Yeah, no, it's not completely me. It was based off of a thing by Matt Colville, who I've mentioned before, but he did a series many years ago on YouTube of like, hey, you've got some friends who want to play some D&D, and you need to you've never DM'd before. Let's go through a thing of creating a basic adventure for it. And he did this thing of an order of knights, a tomb of order knights with a secret room. And he had a lot of goblins and stuff, another story in it. But I was like, I kind of like the structure of the number of encounters, the trap, the riddle, like a simple riddle. Like it just encapsulates D&D basically.
Right. Hit all the notes.
Hit all the notes, and especially for my kid, it's not super long. It took a couple hours. It took like just under 2 hours. So it was like just perfectly well timed. So yeah, I just took what he did and riffed it into being kind of an undead tomb. So it was fun. He wants to play more. So
it must have been good then.
That is what I'm going for.
Yep.
Just wants to play another session. So
right. That's awesome. I'll have to go check out those videos because I'm starting to build an encounter for this ragtag D&D group that I'm building.
I'll send them to you.
Cool, that'd be nice.
I'll send you the first one that I say to watch so you can get an idea of who Matt Colville is and like kind of the way he looks at D&D. And then start the series of like, I think it's like 4 or 5 videos where he's just talking through it. So, but awesome. Yeah, there's definitely one in the series. I was like, oh, this should be the first video, so I understand why you love D&D so much and why you want to do this, basically.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm all about it now. I've caught up on Critical Role in terms of the podcast, so then I've gone back to the Vox Machina.
That means you haven't listened to last week's yet, have you?
I didn't listen to last week's now.
Because it's not there. I can't talk to you about it. I can't.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. It was short. That's the thing.
Really?
It was only like 3 hours total.
Okay.
It was... and it was a good time to stop. Taliesin wasn't there. He was sick. He got con crud.
Oh, God. Yeah, I bet he did.
But also... Matt Mercer does an incredible Taliesin impression.
Oh
my
shit!
God. He was playing. Who's Taliesin's kid?
He was playing Caduceus.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Dude, that's crazy.
It was insane. You're like,
I'll have to watch that.
It's like Taliesin is here, actually here. Like if you're listening to it, I'm sure you'll be like, that's Taliesin just playing Caduceus. You're like, no, that's Matt doing voices. It was crazy. But yes, the whole episode is absolutely crazy, and he ends it early. He's like, "This is a great place to end it," and you have a couple weeks to catch up because they're not doing one this week. They're taking vacation. But holy crap, kind of on edge at the end of that one. Like, what is going on? And I don't think they had a single combat. Yeah,
Oh,
there was
man.
absolutely no combat. It was
Well, thank God, after this episode that I just listened to.
Yeah, it was all just RP. And
What a fucking episode that was. Where, holy shit. And it ends with a not...
Want to do this? Well, it's an exploding area.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And then he's like, no. He's like, you already said it.
You don't want your GM to have... Well, did you watch it or just listen?
I watched the first half and listened to the second half.
Okay. Matt Mercer's face when Sam goes, well, it's an explosive area. His grin and the whole thing, you're just like, you never, ever want your DM to have that. That is a bad face.
Well, thank God Jester had Revivify.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. And they didn't lose that diamond in the last episode. Holy shit. Spoilers for Critical Role, but Jesus Christ. What? I guess we'll just do this every week now.
I mean, this is now turning into a little bit off topic, but...
Yeah, that's why it's
because my wife is actually like watching most of it. She's like on episode 19 now of season 2. She's working through it, but she was actually equating it. She's like really getting into it because it's really good long form storytelling.
That's why I got into it. I was like, I never realized that D&D was just improv long form storytelling.
Yeah, and they do it exceptionally well. They're great performers. Overall with it, but she's like, whenever she sits down to like watch TV or like long form sitcom, like they're never that great. Right. She's been very tired. She's like, as she says, watching Critical Role and the story and how the surprises that happen in it and twists is as good as like reading a book to her.
Oh, me too. I totally agree. Like I'm foregoing audiobooks right now, just listening to campaign 2 and then going back to campaign 1. Like there's nothing else that's as good as it for me right now. I am hooked beyond belief.
And it was a great way of thinking about it. I was like, it is. And it's long form storytelling where even the storytellers don't know where it's going.
Right. That's what makes it so good. That's why the twists are so organic. Like it really does.
And that is why you're gonna love the end of this next episode. Holy crap.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
You're just I won't say who it was, but it was getting tweeted to, I think, like, how long were you thinking about doing that? They're like, about 60 to 90 seconds before I did it.
Oh, shit.
Just seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Oh, my God, I can't wait.
But I'm just like, and it just, everyone was like, what's going on? Matt was even like, I'm glad we have a break. I need to rewrite a whole bunch of shit.
Oh man,
I got to think about this. This changes everything.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta watch that. I gotta watch it before it fucking comes on the podcast. I set my wife down. I was like, after ECCC, talking a bunch about Critical Role and the people I took pictures with, and she's like, who are these people? Blah blah blah. And I explained it to her, and she was like, people watch that? And I was like, I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna show you 10 minutes. She was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, is he doing all those voices? Like, is he making this up? Like, what's happening? It was just like super overwhelming for her. And she was like, I can see why you like this. It's like super complex and strategic and like just so up your alley. I was like, yeah, it totally is. But she's like, this is not for me. So we have such divergent interests. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Except for politics. But that's the thing.
There you go. Yeah.
And child rearing, I guess.
Those are important things not to have divergent interests.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jesus Christ, we're way off topic.
Yes,
that has been episode 184 of Prof and Dev Play Games. If you like our show, please hit us up on Twitter at SummerSpeak or at Prof Plays Games. Also, we are on, not Spotify. Well, yeah, we are on Spotify. What the fuck's it called? Patreon. Thank you. Search Prof and Dev Play Games. Support us, $5 a month, and you get to choose the topic. We have a topic coming up from my friend Brad. I'm very scared about that topic, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But until next week, which I guess next week we'll talk about the state of play and the Indies Direct and whatever else happens this next week. This has been 184 Prof and Dev Play Games. We will see you next week.
Later.